Imagine this, a stunning church, sunlight pouring through stained glass windows, guests dressed elegantly, the air heavy with anticipation. Miguel stood at the altar, handsome in his tailored suit, waiting for the woman he once believed was his, forever. Bianca, radiant in white lace, looked flawless as she walked down the aisle. Everything appeared like a fairy tale. Yet behind Miguel's calm smile, a storm was waiting to break. Today would not be remembered as a wedding. Today, truth would claim the stage. From the outside, Miguel was a man about to live his greatest day. Inside, he carried the weight of betrayal. Bianca was not only his bride, but also the reason he had nearly lost faith in love. Weeks before, Miguel had found messages, proof of secret meetings with another man. The discovery shattered him, but also gave him a plan. He would not confront her in private. No, the truth would be unveiled where lies could no longer hide. At the altar, the first rows were filled with journalists, friends, and family. Everyone admired Bianca's beauty, unaware of the storm brewing. Lorena, a guest and longtime friend of Miguel, watched closely. She had always sensed Bianca's false charm but had stayed silent. Miguel's silence too was heavy but purposeful. Each step of the ceremony was another step toward revelation. As vows began, subtle unease stirred among the guests. Attention, no music could disguise. The priest invited Miguel to declare his vows. He nodded, reached into his pocket, and pulled out his phone. The guests chuckled nervously, thinking it was a mistake. Then the screen lit up, the giant projector behind him. Not love vows, but screenshots, messages, hotel receipts, late-night calls. Bianca froze, her flawless smile vanished. Murmurs swept through the church. The truth, sharp as glass, had been released. The church went silent. Bianca trembled, whispering excuses that no one believed. Miguel's voice cut through the air. Marriage begins with truth, not betrayal. His words weren't shouted, they were steady, undeniable. Guests shifted uncomfortably. Some stared at Bianca, others lowered their eyes. For Miguel, this wasn't humiliation, it was liberation. The wedding was over, but his life was just beginning. Bianca ran from the altar, her dress dragging like broken glass across the floor. Some guests followed her, others stayed, whispering in disbelief. Miguel stood still, heart pounding yet strangely light. The ceremony had ended, but the truth had freed him. Lorena, who had watched everything, approached quietly, offering not pity but presence. Her eyes carried empathy, not judgment. For the first time that day, Miguel felt less alone. The story spread quickly. Newspapers called it the wedding of revelation. Videos from guests' phones flooded social media. Bianca disappeared from the public eye, her reputation unraveling. Miguel, however, refused interviews. He didn't want fame, only peace. Lorena checked on him often, reminding him that silence can also be healing. He realized he didn't need revenge anymore. What he sought was something purer, truth, and perhaps a new beginning. Weeks later, Miguel and Lorena met for coffee. There were no headlines, no ceremonies, just two people talking honestly. She spoke of her own heartbreaks, of lessons carved by time. He listened, not as a man betrayed, but as someone ready to understand. In her laughter, Miguel found a melody he hadn't heard in months. The scars remained, but with Lorena, began to hurt less. Miguel returned to his work, no longer chained by bitterness. On stage he wrote plays not of revenge, but of resilience. Audiences felt the truth in his words. Lorena often sat in the crowd, applauding quietly. Their connection deepened, no rush, no masks, only honesty. It wasn't the grand love he once imagined, but something steadier, more luminous. Bianca tried to rebuild her life, but the stain of betrayal lingered. One evening, Miguel received a letter from her. I destroyed what we had. I hope you find what I never gave you, peace. He folded the paper and placed it in a drawer. No anger remained, only distance. The past was no longer his prison. Lorena's presence was enough proof that love could be reborn from ruins. Miguel and Lorena traveled together for a theater festival. Surrounded by laughter, stories, and new faces, Miguel realized how far he had come. Lorena's smile lit up the crowded hall more than any spotlight. For him, this wasn't just companionship, it was healing. He thought, the altar destroyed me once, but life gave me another stage. They began leading workshops, helping others turn pain into art. Strangers told their stories of betrayals, losses, and fragile hopes. Each confession became a thread in a larger tapestry. Miguel watched Lorena guiding them, her voice steady, her heart generous. He knew then that love was not just fire, it was light, patient, and enduring. In a small town square. Under strings of lanterns, Miguel staged a play about honesty. There were no villains, no brides or grooms, only people choosing to face themselves. The audience wept, not for spectacle, but for recognition. Lorena squeezed his hand during the final applause. For Miguel, that simple gesture was worth more than any standing ovation. Miguel moved to a quieter town near the sea. There he and Lorena built a life woven with small joys, cooking together, walking by the shore, riding at night. He no longer feared betrayal. Love, he learned, wasn't about perfect vows, but about choosing truth daily. Every morning with Lorena felt like a vow renewed, without the weight of a church or an audience. 2 years later, Miguel stood again before an audience, not in a church, but on a stage glowing with warm light. He told his story, not of revenge, but of rebirth. The truth hurt, yes, but it also saved me, he said. Lorena watched from the front row, her smile radiant. The applause rose like a tide. For Miguel, this was not an ending. It was proof that even the deepest wounds could open the door to love, honesty, and life renewed.